Let's go, family. Happy Saturday. It's your boy, Crazy Faith of God, in the building. Feeling good, feeling amazing today. How are you guys feeling? Hope you guys are doing wonderful and staying blessed. Happy Saturday. Let's dive deep into this. Hope everybody's enjoying the weekend. Nothing but love. So let's dive into this. Right? Today's topic is actually going to be, investing in your dreams, right? Investing into your dreams, right? Investing into your dreams. There's no better feeling than investing your money into what you have been created to do, right? There's no better feeling than investing your own money into what you was created to do, investing into the idea of what God has planted inside of you, right? There's no better feeling, right? You can work a job, right? And you can do all of these amazing things, work a 9 to 5, work on someone else's business, but the moment you actually take the time out and take some money that you make and invest it into what God has created you to do, that's a different feeling, right? That's a whole nother level of feeling, a whole nother level of fulfillment, another level of just feeling whole, right? Feeling complete, right? That's a whole nother level of just feeling complete, right? And once we do this, right, and we step out in faith, right, he begins to connect the dots. Things start to just align more with your calling, and you just start to see opportunities, situations, and circumstances start to play in the line, right? But whatever it is, you might even notice that you're even getting better at your craft, right? You might even notice that you're getting better at your craft. Why? Because you've been prepping in the wait time. You've been prepping while you've been waiting, right? This is the power of preparation, right? If we just wait for the opportunity, right, without preparation, then what happens? Once that opportunity comes, you won't meet the requirements to execute, right? To over deliver, right? Then, how are they going to want to establish a relationship? But the moment you start to work on yourself, right, you start to prepare in the prep time, right, what begins to happen is you begin to become better. You begin to become better in your craft, and then when it's game time, right, and you got to perform, you're actually better than what you thought you were, right? And you're able to over deliver, and then people will want lucrative partnerships, right? Because you're setting an intention to over deliver, right? And people will want to do business with you when you over deliver, right? When you over deliver on your assignment, right? When you're getting better at your craft, people are going to want to establish a relationship, right? And open up more doors for you, right? Because you've been working on yourself, you're becoming better at your craft, and now your craft is super powerful, right? And you could do this with anything, right? Business wise, you could do this with your gift. You could do this with anything, your profession, anything in life. But you got to study your craft. You got to study the information like you want it as bad as you want to breathe, right? You got to study this information as bad as you want to breathe, right? There's no better feeling than, work, because we all work a 9 to 5, right? Some of us work a 9 to 5, right? So what are you doing with, a percentage of that money? What are you doing with maybe 33 to 20% of that money that you make? All right, yeah, you got bills, but what are you doing with the money that you could be saving, right? Are you spending it on sneakers? Are you spending it on going out, on drinks, on things that are just not adding value, right? Are you spending it on, alcohol, things that's just not bringing value to you, right? Things that are just that's just costing money, right? Instead of using it into things that's going to produce you money, right? So we got a couple ways we can start looking at things. We got to start using our money to work for us, rather than using our money to be consumed. Because when we do that, when we use our money to be consumed, right, we depleted, right? We got to start over. But when we take our money and use it for something that could generate us money, that's where we win, right? That's the one percenters, right? That's the one percenters, right? We got to use our money, right? Some of us are actually taking our money and, going out partying, having a good time, not pouring into what needs to be poured into, right? You guys are not pouring into your gifts, your dreams and goals, right? And I was once that person. I was once that person that would take the money, right, and maybe go out. Or maybe, when I used to drink, I used to, go out, have fun, right? And we all have been there, but then there's a time that we have to grow up. There's a time that we have to, I was once a kid, but I'm not a kid anymore. We got to grow up, right? We got to grow up and, start using this money so that way we could develop our gifts, so that way we could enter the promised land, so that way we can get everything that God has for us, right? Think about it, right? If God is watching you right now, right? Okay, you went to work. All right, you said you want more money. Okay. All right, you want more money. All right, you just got your paycheck, but you're going out, you're buying things that's not in alignment with what he wants for you, right? You're buying this, you're buying that, you're wasting all your money, and then you look up and you didn't even invest into you. You didn't even invest into the dream. You didn't even invest into the goal. Why is that, right? Why is that? And I used to be the same person. And then I was just like, nah, I'm tired of living from paycheck to paycheck. I'm sick of that, right? So it was like a switch. I had to use the money. I had to show God, like, look, I'm gonna use this money into my dreams and goals. I'm gonna take this investment. I'm gonna invest into me, right? Started buying books. Started investing into me, right? Because I'm my greatest asset, right? That's what growth is all about. You got to be able to invest into yourselves, right? Without that investment, right, it's like you stay the same, you stay average, and then you're showing God that you're not even trying to move the needle, right? Once he see you trying to move the needle, he will open up more doors. But if you're not doing the right things with the money, then you will continue to live from paycheck to paycheck, that same job, and you'll get comfortable there. And God forbid, you might even die at that spiritual. You might even die a spiritual death at that job, right? So we gotta be able to know how to invest our money into the proper things, right? The things that's gonna build a financial kingdom for us, right? The things that's gonna leave generational wealth for us. The things that's gonna impact another person, right? Whatever that gift is, right? You got to be able to use your money wisely, right? Because think about it, right? If you don't invest, right, and you're living from paycheck to paycheck, what happens 20, 30, 40 years down the line, right? You're still doing the same thing and not getting anywhere. That would be a shame. So I encourage you guys, right? Whatever money that you guys get from, working a job, or just, through any other source that you're getting it from, make sure you tap into your gift. Make sure you tap into that gift and develop it. Figure it out. Because that gift is powerful. That gift is going to allow you to be financially free, right? That gift is going to take your family and to help them live a different life that you want, right? It's going to help them to live a life that you've dreamed for. Right? But it's only going to happen through your gifts and through the sources that God has given you, right? The sources that God has entrusted you with, right? And that's the biggest thing right there, investing into you. Like, there's no other greater feeling than to invest into you, right? There's no other feeling that's the most amazing feeling, other than working. Working is cool, but once you invest into you, that's like a different feeling. Like, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much happier that you actually took the time to invest into you. And you're going to feel like you're moving in the right direction. You're going to feel like somebody and that you're moving into the right direction, right? You're going to feel like you're living for a bigger purpose, right? And it all stems from faith, right? The dreams, the aspirations, the goals, everything that God has put inside of us is for real, right? But we have to activate it. We have to protect it. We have to make sure we are protecting our dreams and goals and our gifts, right? Because the enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy, right? We got to make sure we're careful who we tell our gifts to. Once you know your gift, you grab it and you hold on to it. You perfect it. Don't tell everybody, because you don't know if you could trust everybody, right? And the enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy. So you always want to take your gift, right? Be very careful who you tell your gift to, right? But most importantly, I feel like once you got your gift, you got to spend time with it, right? Before you tell anybody, spend time with it and be able to develop a strong relationship with your gift so that it's unbreakable, right? So that way anybody say anything, it's a solid foundation that cannot be broken, right? That's what you should do with your gift. You should create a solid foundation for your gift so that way it cannot be broken by anyone, right? And then once that foundation is set, then you can start, telling certain people. You don't want to just tell everybody, right? You want to tell people that's going to give you a positive feedback, right? People that you can actually trust, right? These are the people that you want to actually, enlighten them on your gift, right? But you ultimately want to be careful and you want to be grounded. Like, you're going to be determined to bring this gift to life no matter who say what, no matter what happens in life, you're going to bring this to life. That's the solid foundation that you need to have with your gift. That's the relationship that you need to have with your gift, right? And once you start, moving towards your gift, I know it may seem like you don't know what you're doing, but just give it time. God will show you as you walk the path, as you start trusting, as you keep the faith, right? As you keep the faith, you still invest into yourself even when you don't see anything happening, right? You're getting better. You're building trust with God. You're showing him, look, this is what I'm doing with the money. I'm not going out. I'm not just partying. I'm not just spending it on materialistic stuff. I'm not just blowing my money on materialistic stuff anymore. I'm actually taking it, investing it into something that's going to produce me more money in the future, right? I'm actually looking for ways to multiply my money, right? I'm actually trying to figure out what to do with my money rather than just live paycheck to paycheck, right? This is the mindset that God is looking for. He's looking for that mindset. He's looking to see, what are we doing with our money? Are we looking to expand the kingdom? Are we looking to transform our minds? Are we looking to invest back into ourselves when we don't see anything happening? Are we willing to invest into that business? Are we willing to invest into the gift when we don't see anything happening? Are we willing to prepare in the slow seasons when we don't see anything happening? This is the things that he's looking for, right? This is the things that he is watching you, right? These are the areas that he is watching you, right? And if you don't pass the test, he will send it again. Oh, you didn't pass the test? Okay, paycheck to paycheck, let's do it, right? As soon as you start doing the right things with the money, bigger doors starts opening up. Oh my God, this was here all the time? Wow, I didn't even know that. Why? Because you're starting to do the right things with the money, so he's going to bless that. Okay, you're doing the right things. Let me open up a bigger door for you, and let me see what you do with that money that you get. Do you stay consistent as you are right now, as well as you getting paid more at the other job? Let me see what you do with that money, right? It's all a test, right? It's all a test, right? And I'm grateful to be aware of this. I'm grateful to be more aware, more aligned that, we got to invest into ourselves. There's no better feeling. Like, I can't wait to invest into me. I can't wait to get more money so I can invest into me. You know, because I know the feeling and I know the rewards that it comes with. And I know if I do that, I'm pleasing God, right? And that's the number one person you always want to please. You can never go wrong pleasing God. Like, that's the number one person you want to please. It feels so amazing pleasing God than pleasing people. Let me tell you that. You win big time when you please God and not try to please people, right? You can never please people and you will fail miserably. Always remember that. But you can please God and you won't fail like that, right? So investing is just so powerful. All the greats, all the multimillionaires, you think they just didn't invest into themselves? Why do you think they are where they're at right now? Because they invested into them, right? If they believe in God, they showed God, look, this is what I'm going to do with the money, and God blessed them. Look where they're at right now. They believed in themselves. They had the faith. They had the confidence to keep going. That's what we need, right? If you already got it, cool. Strengthen it, right? Strengthen it. I'm looking for ways to strengthen my mindset, strengthen my belief, strengthen my faith, get more closer to God, invest more, right? Proving to God who I truly am. That's what you guys need to do. You guys need to show God who you truly are. He doesn't want to hear it. He wants to see it, right? He wants to see it. He wants to show him who you are, right? That's how he blesses you. So, I'm going to leave you guys with this, right? I'm going to leave you guys with this. Right? I'm going to leave you guys with this, right? If you don't start investing into you, you won't see the higher version of you what's on the other side of the version that you're at right now. And if you don't start investing into your dreams and goals, or even ask God to point out your dreams and goals and your gifts, it's going to be hard for you to be successful. And it's going to be hard for you to get out of that 9 to 5. You know, it's like, what do you do in a 9 to 5, right? You got to take that money and invest it into something bigger, so that way you're not just working a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. Right, that's the big key right there, right? You know, you start off with a regular job, but you're investing into something bigger in the later on in the future. But you got to stay consistent with that and trust the process, and don't overlook a job. Do not overlook a job, but use that job to invest into yourself, and God will take you to bigger levels, bigger opportunities, bigger jobs that could actually fund the gift. But you got to stay committed to it right now. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. So, I want to take a few minutes to pray with you guys. God, I ask that you transform their minds, transform their lives, help them to invest a lot more in themselves, because we are created in God's highest form, right? We're God's highest form of creation. We're created in his image, and we can do all things through Christ. So, with that being said, it's your boy Crazy Faith in God on the way out. Hope you guys have a blessed and amazing Saturday. Remember, you matter, nothing but love. Let's get it. Let's strive to be 1% better each and every single day, no matter what. Let the pain fuel you. Get a rope for your pain. Let's get it. Let's go.